Hello, in this video we're going to be covering the feature info dockable window. This is a fairly complex uh, window, and though it can be operated quite simply, there's quite a few nuances to it, so might be a long video, but we'll just get through the important stuff, and then if you want to listen on through the whole video, you can learn some tips and tricks at the end. So, feature info is a dockable window. It can be closed. Reopening it can be done using info mode, or you can find it down in the nested windows area at the bottom left. So I'm going to just open that back up. Now, feature info is a little bit different than returning users might remember. You do not need to use the EAP info mode tooltip, though you can use it, and it will show what you've clicked on. To use the feature info now, all you have to do is just click. Anywhere there's a feature from the selection layer, it will show that feature info. One of the main nuances that I want to explain right away is that with that said, it can be a little confusing because if you click here on this regen unit, you're going to get that. So for the purposes of this video, I've put the label on here for FID so we can kind of pay attention to that on the right side where that FID is displayed. So if I click here, obviously I'm going to get that feature information. Now, what happens if I select a bunch? I've still got 242 selected because that's where I clicked. That's where I started to click. So same thing if I start out here where I just clicked right there and drag across. Now I've selected all of those again, but I don't have any feature info. That's because I didn't actually click on a feature. So feature info does not show selected feature information. It shows feature information for where you clicked. That's a little bit odd at first, but it actually does give you quite a bit of control because you can always know what you've clicked on first. So here's 2208. If I click here to make a selection, 228 is going to show. Here's 1162. If I click here to make a selection, 1162 is going to show. So that's an important thing to know. For the most part, you're probably going to be clicking on one feature to see the information, make some change, and then save. So it's kind of advanced user information there, but it's important that everybody know that. So the quick and short explanation of how to use feature info is click on a feature, make some change, and then you have to hit save. You always have to hit save. If you change to another feature right now, I'll come back to this one. I'm going to click here. If I come back, that change does not show up because I didn't save. So you can also see fields that you've edited based on this highlight color. Save. Now if I click and I come back, that change has been saved. Other than that, copy, paste, save, and revert, as well as clear are all fairly self-explanatory. I'll go through them really quick. Copy copies the entire editable attribute information. So the grayed out area is generally geometric data, which is auto-populated as you click through features. It also houses the SEID, which is unique SEID based on your configure program. You have to put in your initials, and then that populates your initials with a random number. This is meant to stay the same or be unique, so we've locked that out. Everything in here is locked out, mostly because it's based on that geometric data, and the edited and created date really not meant to be tampered with. So I can copy this whole entire editable standard attribute list, as well as any other fields that you've added in there, and I can click over here and paste that, Now it shows that it's pasted that whole form, and then you can save. So now as I click around, you can see I've got the same attribute information there, but what you will notice is the FID 2206 and 2207. Even though I copied and pasted this entire thing, that FID is always going to be unique, so it's not going to be the same as what I copied. But neither will the area, perimeter, SCID, all of that stuff is unique, so it doesn't copy those. The other thing to note here is that if you click here, this unit has parcel, SPI, THP, RIS, and regen in the same space. So these are all on, and so when I click here, even though I'm on regen as a selection layer, it's showing me here that I have SPI, THP, RIS, and parcel available based on that place where I clicked. So this can be pretty handy actually if you are potentially using this information. In some cases, the information between two layers is actually pretty similar. So if I needed to get this information and SPI, THP, RIS information, I can copy from this regen unit and I can paste in this SPI, THP, RIS. So that can be a big time saver depending on your workflow. And then always save. If I make some changes and I don't want to keep those, of course you can click on something else, but you can also just revert right there. Save to save, clear to clear the form. And then of course you'd have to save that as well. So you always have to save your changes. Now, a couple tips and tricks. C3 here has the THP name, and if I wanted to select all of those from the Bagley Fire, I would just right click on C3, filter, and now that's going to update my G cell because it's made a new selection based on that filter, and I can do view map chosen to see all of those Bagley Fire units. You can do that anywhere. You can do that here, C1, that's going to select all fire, N1 equal to 1, 3,911. So that's a nice way to quickly kind of make a selection query just based on a quick right click filter. And with that, I think we'll wrap this video up. That's everything you need to know to use this properly. And if there's anything else, you may want to check the tips and tricks and Easter eggs part of the manual to see if there's anything else hidden in there. But that should do it. Don't forget, if you do close this, you can also just open that back up with the feature info button there, or the keystrokes EAP. So, thank you.